Welcome back to another Epidose of these crazy people that just eat me and can't stop talking to me on it. I'm Tom. This is Justin. And today, Justin, what is our topic for this episode of the short ribs?
Yes. Well, the topic is please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and stay subscribed. Come on, we're
Hit the
helping you
alert.
with future medical bills. So the least you can do is pay us with your like, comments, and subscriptions.
That's right. Spread your better quality of life by sending out links to people. Make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe your friends when they leave their computer unlocked or their phone sitting around. Just, hook them on up to the greatest channel around. All right. So after that topic, what's the next topic today?
The topic is eczema and psoriasis.
Eczema, psoriasis. Yeah, I think I'll be talking a lot about this one because I don't think Justin had that problem, but I did.
I have perfect skin, and I have proof of a perfect skin. So my ex was actually studying to become an esthetician, and she had me go in there. She's like, "Oh, we need volunteers to do facials, right? Not that kind of facial, internet. I see you." And so I go in there, and I actually got a facial done by her teacher, who was smoking hot. Oh man, she's wicked hot. Anyway, and I guess while she was working on me, my girlfriend overheard her teacher or professor, I don't know what you'd call them in esthetician school, go, "Wow, perfect skin." And
head skin professor, I think.
Yeah, head skin professor commented perfect skin, like perfect complexion, perfect skin. And this made my girlfriend at the time run out of the room because she had horrible battle with acne from the time she was like 14 up until early adulthood. So
it cleared right up on a vegan diet, right?
Ooh, no, not so much. Did get better, but let's not talk about
Okay.
people that can't defend themselves at this time.
All right. She'll never watch this anyways. Come on. So anyways, I did some videos on this earlier on. I came to the low carb, then eventually carnivore because I had terrible arthritis, which started improving very quickly. Naturally, I assumed that my whole problem was leaky gut. But then I had flare-ups of psoriasis that came back. Prior to all this, in the very beginning, I was kind of diagnosed with eczema, but then I clearly had massive flare-ups of psoriasis, and so I assumed, oh, it's psoriatic arthritis. I got psoriatic plaques, blah 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 blah. The arthritis clears up and just kept getting better and better and better, and then boom, all of a sudden I'd have the psoriasis flare up. So, and I'd done the PKD diet, and when it's on the PKD diet, things were improving and stuff like that, but then it came back anyways. So long story short, I figured out that my psoriasis flare-ups weren't caused by my diet. The thing that I've been so focused on for a long time wasn't the issue. The issue was tiny little fungal infections on the skin, which is something I've battled since I was a kid. It really started because I have gigantic feet. I wore braces as a child on my feet, or special shoes, as it were, these custom made shoes, because I had flat feet, and everybody said, oh, you need lots of support for your poor flat feet. And so they bent my feet into a new shape, and now they're huge and wide and really thick, and they don't fit in shoes. So as I was wearing ill-fitting shoes with tight little toe boxes and no room on top, and I'd always get these little infections on my toes, usually in between my toes and stuff like that. It wasn't until I was an adult and the doctor said, that is not athlete's foot. That's why it's not healing when you treat it like athlete's foot. And he's like, if you'd had athlete's foot all this time, it'd be all over the bottom of your foot by now and stuff like that. But it's only in these places because your toes are smashed together too small. And then occasionally, because I'm a bit of a gym rat, you can pick up things, people pick up stuff like jock itch and ringworm and stuff like that. They're all very similar to athlete's foot. I realized that when I got little tiny itchy spot, boom, here comes the psoriasis. And so that's what's going on. My body had been so used to kicking out antibodies every time it detected this, that it would just have this overwhelming response. And those antibodies are swimming around in there for at least 90 days from the start. So let's say you got a little tiny patch of whatever fungus it is. In my case, that would just kick it off, and until it was gone and your body wasn't reacting to it anymore, the whole time it's sending out all these antibodies that are attacking your skin and causing these giant plaques, which are miserable because when they're flaring up, every time the water hits it, when you're taking a shower, it stings like the devil. Then they itch, and you have skin flaking off all over the place, and it's just a hideous mess. And every time I got bit by a mosquito, they would swell up and itch, and it's just like never-ending nightmare. So I had talked about this previously because I'd had it pretty much go away, and then it came back, and I knew I had to look into it more. I knew there had to be something that was triggering it. And it wasn't until I took my attention off my diet that I realized it wasn't my diet that was causing it. It was these tiny little patches of itchy skin that were doing it. So anyways, just treat that. I use a defense soap, and if I get a little patch like that, then I also put some ointment on. I got put on there a couple times a day or so to get it to work, but that's all it takes to get it under control. But in the meantime, you just got to deal with those giant plaques until the infection's gone and your body stops kicking out the antibodies. And it's a long process. It's months and months and months from start to finish. So anyways, I just want to talk about that. I know that there's a number of people that have eczema or psoriasis, and they go on low carb or carnivore, and they start seeing improvements right away. So that's what we see most of the time. That's what I was expecting, but it turned out a little different. So I thought it was worth a video, at least a short ribs, right?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to comment, from what I know, psoriasis seems to be like an advanced form of eczema, because the eczema is the like dry, patchy skin, right? That
Yeah, a
oftentimes
lot
people
of
get, and they give them like not maybe like an antibiotic ointment, or no, it's not just a
it's a
moisture. I know it has some
steroid
kind of
cream. Yeah.
steroid.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so typically like eczema shows up as little white patches. They're both an autoimmune disease. So typically they're believed to be an autoimmune disease where your body's creating some sort of immune reaction that's attacking your skin, causing the skin to overgrow. They're often related to calluses on the feet, and in severe cases, like when mine was at its worst, I got these little spots on like the palms of my hands, the bottom of my feet's a little round. They look like a blister, but inside is just more skin. It's just layers of skin piled up in there. And they're quite they're fine until they tear open, and then they're really painful. So and then your fingernails and stuff like that. I still got a thumbnail that's not fully attached, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. But you see that white under
Mhm.
there?
Yeah.
So what happens is the tissue's growing so fast it doesn't stay attached. So the skin even under the nail bed is growing, and then sometimes right where the nail's growing out from underneath your cuticle there, uh parts of it is growing faster than others. So then you get sort of an irregular, usually get like a streak or a ripple in the nail. But then when the antibodies subside, then all that stuff goes back to normal. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that have psoriasis that have no fingernails. Their skin split open, sometimes even on their face, and so they basically don't leave the house. So it could be a pretty horrible disease. And I feel very fortunate that I was able to figure out exactly what was triggering mine. And lo and behold, diet didn't seem to be the problem. It could have been contributing in the beginning, but like I thought maybe I was allergic to egg whites because some people react to egg whites and stuff like that. So I was avoiding foods like that, but they don't seem to have, it doesn't seem to have any bearing on it now. So, anyways, I thought it was worth mentioning. I know I've occasionally people track me down and ask me questions about it, and I did promise I'd do a video. So here it is. So, and I just saw somebody on Facebook today was whose hands were getting a lot better. They had that problem with the sort of skin flaking off the palm of their hands all the time in their fingers. And it can also cause dandruff. So dandruff, white patchy flaky areas, giant red lesions, fingernails, toenails falling off, calluses on the feet, sometimes calluses on the hands, and those little spots called lichen planus. Those are all seen to be caused by autoimmune reactions, which could be your diet or it could be something else.
Yeah, I just want to mention, you know, the ones that just gain a bunch of weight from being on a poor diet, on some respects, are the lucky ones. Just because, yeah, there's a lot of drain on the body, and a food addiction's a pain in the ass, and I get all that. But not saying it's kind of more sociably acceptable. You know, if you've got all these bumps, cuts, sores open on your face, you can't really go out in public. I remember, Tom, you always tell the story, maybe not always, but of taking a shower, putting on a shirt, going to work, and your girlfriend being like, "Hey, come back because you're bleeding through your shirt." I mean,
Oh yeah,
that's real. I mean, I think in some respects, and that's worse than being overweight to an extent or to a point.
yeah.
Myself,
Nobody was gonna want you around if you got blood oozing through your clothes, for sure.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, if you're overweight, you can still get in your car and go to work, and no one's gonna, what's wrong with you,
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago. I was on a plane and I sat down. I was wearing shorts, and the cuff of my shorts kind of slid back a little bit, and the people that were sitting next to me could see the red plaques on my thighs, on the quad area, and the look on their face, like the look of pity on their face when they saw that. I was like, I didn't expect it because we were having a nice friendly conversation, and then they got very quiet when they noticed that, and it's like, so yeah, that has a social impact. It wasn't exactly crippling, but but anyways, yeah, no, people notice stuff like that. And I was lucky most of the time. Most of my clothing tended to cover up where it was, but also my clothing also irritated it all the time. So that was another thing. You put something in your pocket and you're like, your keys in your pocket, and you're like, it's jabbing me right in a lesion. So yeah.
Yeah, back to the quality of life discussion, right
Right.
there, improving the quality of life. For me, the migraines, right? It's an
Mhm.
invisible illness. Never had a problem with weight, but so yeah, we all ate badly. But what's interesting about the human body is each of us, to an extent, manifest these autoimmune metabolic conditions in different ways in the body. Some people, it's just a bit of eczema, and they're fine. They never get full-blown psoriasis or real bad arthritis. Other people, a bipolar disorder and an MS, like our friend M. I mean, it's a huge range. And all of it, though, for the most part, seems to either go in remission or totally resolve, staying and being committed to a carnivorous diet.
Yep. Yeah, and carnivory and to a large extent improves tissue quality all over the body. So we just did a video on joint replacement. If you want to keep regenerating that cartilage and those tendons and have strong muscles and bones, eat lots of meat. The older you get, the more protein you need. So we don't know on carnivore. Maybe carnivores just need the same amount of meat as they get older, but typically people on a typical diet, they need more protein as they get older, and they typically eat less. So whatever it is, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what kind of skin conditions you've had, and notice if there's any changes. Maybe you don't need those steroid creams or those injections. I mean, a lot of those biologic injections that people, or biologic medications that people need for their autoimmune diseases can cost tens of thousands of dollars a year. So, and they can infect your skin, your lungs, your joints. So anyways, let us know your story. Don't forget to hit the like button. Maybe send the link to this video on to people who will enjoy it or be helped by it. We really appreciate it. Everybody subscribes to the channel is greatly appreciated, and it really helps us. So help us get the word out. And until next time, eat some meat, feel better. And whatever you do, don't fall down the carb
Carb
hole. Carb hole, carb hole, carb hole,
hole.
carb hole.